Well, we have a lot of things to get to today, folks, and we can talk about the RV, Nasara, GESARA. We can talk about what's going to happen next now that China and Russia and India have all moved to their gold-backed currencies and effectively announced GESARA over in those countries. I believe Libya, Iraq, Kuwait, Zimbabwe, Vietnam have all, signed off on it. So it's slowly moving around the world. From what I can understand, is that the Russia is now debt-free. The people of Russia are now debt-free. And do you know what they're paying for a gallon of gas over in Russia right now? 60 rubles, which equates to 50 cents a gallon here in the United States. Do you believe that? Yeah, it's true. So it's happening, folks. It's slowly working its way around the world. Everybody thinks that it's going to happen first here in the United States. No, because we were the dirty guys for a long, long time. I know you hate to hear that, but our government has been so nefarious in dealings around the world that we, the United States, were the black hats. We were the military arm of the evil trinity. Let me explain the evil trinity. There are 3 city-states in the world. 1, the Vatican. 2, the city of London. And 3, Washington, D.C. So think about this for a moment. The unholy trinity. The Vatican, religion.
Third video.
The city of London,
We pressed that before.
financial. Okay? And then on top of that, Washington, D.C. being the military. We were the military for the entire world. We were the strong arm. We were the muscle. All of our boys died because of this nefarious thing that we tried to, quote unquote, spread democracy around the world to free other people. Couldn't be anything further from the truth.
That's as high as I can get it.
Okay. And Joseph, I'm having a problem here. You've got to keep yourself muted. Okay. To give you a little history lesson, let's just go back to World War II for just a moment. The people of the United States were so war-weary after World War I that they didn't want another war. They really didn't. Okay? And Franklin Roosevelt was trying to desperately to get us into a war to help support the military-industrial complex and the bankers that he was beholden to. The bankers are the ones who make money off the war because they fund both sides. They could care less who wins as long as they make money on it. So to bring the United States into the war, what did the United States do? They started blockading the trade routes to Japan, squeezing them, starving them into oblivion. Oh, this is not written in the history lesson. Okay, that's exactly what the United States did. And they expected Japan to lash out. And they joined forces with Germany first, and then they lashed out at us for squeezing them, squeezing off their trade routes. And that's why they lashed out at Pearl Harbor. That is exactly why they did it. And what happened? The next day, the United States declared war on Japan, and we had all of our populace saying, "Remember Pearl Harbor." That's exactly what they wanted. They wanted the popular opinion to go up before they announced war. Same thing happened after 9/11. What happened? Nobody really wanted to go to war. Nobody really wanted anything to do with what was going on over in the Middle East. We didn't want our boys going over in there and doing that. But what happened? 9/11, instantaneously, the mood changed. And we had a lot of people signing up to go over there and go to war. Popular opinion changed. That's exactly what happened. We have been manipulated for many, many, many years. Eisenhower wrote in his memoirs, in a note to JFK whenever he took office, beware of the military-industrial complex. Eisenhower knew all about it, but couldn't do anything about it. He left it up to Kennedy to do something about it. Kennedy already knew about it and was trying to implement it. Then he got Eisenhower's help as he was entering office. That's how this all played out over these last 60 years.
Okay, Billy. I got my camera back. I had
Okay.
to restart Zoom. Zoom was the problem, not the camera.
I hope you enjoyed the little history lesson there, but Peter's got some great intel that we want to get into first. So Peter, go ahead.
Your camera's off, Billy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. There I am.
Yeah, I actually sent you a new background. On WhatsApp.
Let me change my background here real quick. Yes, I did. Okay, give me just a second.
Because we got a new logo, as you can see in the corner.
Yes. All right, give me just a second to find it here. Where did I put it? There it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he saw.
There we go. There we go. New logo.
That's right. Yes, we have a new logo for the new show. And okay, so after a slightly unusual start, this is the first show we're doing where we're controlling everything rather than the last team. And thank you for waiting an extra hour, but basically we can't stop them doing their own kind of after show, and we thought it best to delay our show until afterwards. So we're glad to see you here. Very much welcome, and it's great to be under our own stream as well. It's kind of awkward the way things got sort of split up, but we're here now, and I think it's good because we're under our own control, and we can really make this work for everybody. And I'm glad to say we're, from what I can see, 170 members. Is that right, Billy?
170. Yeah, 170 is what we got in here so far. I don't think anybody's in the waiting room. Nope, nobody's in the waiting room.
No, so I switched off the waiting room before I handed over to you.
Yep.
So we're a small group, but I say this is the first proper show. You know, okay, Billy and I did number one together because we didn't have an audience for that one. But we're in here, and we hope that we'll build this up to be a great show for everybody. I did send out links to everybody. Did everybody get the email with the link to the show? Right in the chat. Yes or no? Yes.
I see yeses. Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like. Oh,
one no, two no's, three no's, mostly yeses.
Mostly yeses. Okay, because we want to know if our email system is working. I haven't yet implemented the proper email service which we want to use.
Right.
We have technical problems, but
you want to add info at GESARA.
No, Nizara GESARA-QFS.com.
Right.
That is the email address under which we're sending it out. So you have to make sure that doesn't go to your spam folders. And then we'll get that working. And I've been working flat out all week, building up all the infrastructure and getting everything to work. And last night I was answering questions. I was up until 5 a.m. Answering questions in which is obvious. When you're starting something, people are asking, where can I go? Some people are having trouble registering on the forum or finding the links. And yes, it's, the guys who miss being on the live show, they can watch the recording. I'm sure any kinks will have worked out by the next one. So the first question I'd like to ask you guys is, it makes it a rather long day when you have Charlie's show, then David seems to be wanting to do the after show, and then us on the end. That makes it a rather long day for shows. Would it make more sense if we moved our show to a different day? So I'm seeing yeses, we don't mind. So I would propose that we do Sunday as opposed to Saturday. How about that? I mean, not obviously today we're continuing, but I mean, as of next week. Not Sunday, I'm saying, so that's
All
great.
right. Some say yes. Okay, I'm seeing Sunday morning.
Yeah, what we'll do is I'll place a poll on the forum and in the Telegram group, and then people can vote on it there, because that's going to be much more democratic than just some people saying yes, some people saying no. Not Saturday is fine. I'm reading there. Sunday in the afternoon, US time. Yes, it would be the afternoon. It would be about this time, or maybe even an hour earlier on the Saturday. And yeah, and then we come to the Wednesdays. Do we do the thing? Or, of course, another idea we could have is we could talk to Charlie's team and say that they do one a week on Saturday, we do a Sunday, and then we do the Wednesday. Maybe they'll be pleased if they do one less. This is all things we're going to negotiate. We're going to try and work things out, because we don't want to clash with them. That's not the point of it. They've been good to us. We're being good to them, and we don't want to start a fight over times. We're quite willing to be flexible, as long as we can get our shows out, and you guys are all going to be happy. So that's the thing. But okay, we've got that going. So I think the first thing you guys want to hear, I suppose, is the intel, which I'm seeing. I know Charlie said quite a few things about. Charlie said a couple of things I didn't know about, and about that. But he has different sources than I do, and to be honest, I had little time to look at intel in the last few days, because I was working around the clock getting the forum set up, getting the Zoom set up. It's just been, I've been getting very little sleep and working like mad. And, at 5 o'clock in the morning, when you still have about 30 emails left to answer, you kind of lose concentration a bit. So I kind of went to bed and then finished off the rest of the emails in the morning. But I think I got everybody who answers a question, I managed to get answered. It just took a lot of my time and concentration, but that's to be expected. We're here to work this out. So let me go through some intel. I printed it out on paper this time, because it was getting a little bit confusing when I was looking from one screen to another. At least I can hold the paper in front of me and read from it. So I don't know if you saw on Real Raw News, but the Alliance managed to take over this, what was the name of the mountain? Weather Mountain or something? It's near Washington, D.C. There's this mountain which is owned by FEMA, which is where the EBS, the Emergency Broadcast System, is controlled. And that was, up until very recently, firmly in control of the Black Hats. But the Black Hats had an infiltrator who was working on the inside, and they waited until most of the team in that highly secure building in a mountain had gone away to a seminar, and they only had a skeleton crew. And then their infiltrator, the White Hats infiltrator, managed to open up the massive steel door, let in the military, the good guys, and they then took over the mountain. And now the emergency broadcast system is under the White Hat control. That explains why no EBS was being sent out, because the White Hats just didn't have control of it. Well, they do now. So I think that's a great thing. I've heard that for international trade, the US dollar is no longer in control. and it's been taken over, and the US is no longer being used for international trade. It is now going to be used. USA has now moved on to the new system, even if your currency has not yet been exchanged. But expect that very soon you'll be getting the US Treasury note to replace your US dollars. This is imminent. I'm hearing that is going to happen in early April. I think the 4th of April I was reading. If I have to find that I'll come to it in my notes, but I think it was the 4th of April that it is planned that when the public starts being made aware of what's actually happening. At the moment, it's only the insiders who know what's happening, while they're still clearing up and arresting the rest of the deep state actors. Apparently, there's been a lot of arrests recently as they're mopping up and things. So there's been a lot of chaos on the US-Mexican border, and the Alliance Special Forces were also taking control of that and arresting the mafia guys who were organizing all the trafficking of people into the USA. Funny how they scream about the Ukrainian border, but they don't seem to have any problems with the American border. So I am hearing that bondholders are already getting paid, not only in theory, but actually with spendable funds, and that the start of the EBS has started at the upper levels, and it is slowly moving down level to level till it gets to our level, which is 4B. Russia and China have already switched to gold-backed currency, as well as more or less all the BRICS countries. BRICS means Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Those are the BRICS countries. And several other countries have applied to join as well. Slowly, the gold-backed currencies are taking over the world. And it's just places like Europe, where I am, and the USA, where Billy sits, which are sort of trying to hold out. But it's got to the point where now that Saudi Arabia and other Gulf nations have also joined, that these countries are going to have to start using gold to buy oil and gas. Well, the US dollar, the pound, the euro, they're not going to survive much long on that. So that is going to be a thing which forces the new currencies into even the countries which are resisting right now. So yes, the fiat US dollar ceased to be used as of Friday, the 18th of March, which was yesterday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that was the switchover time when it was actually switched over from the US dollar for international trade. Within the country, it hasn't been announced yet, but internationally, the fiat currency is no longer valid. And that also the US petrol dollar, the other thing which is holding up the dollar, is basically collapsing or collapsed. So the switch to the asset-backed currency has actually officially happened on the 18th of March, but it will take time before they release the currency. Right, and this is interesting for us. Tier 4B, which is us, the internet group notification. So apparently, the dates when that is going to be announced, in other words, when we're going to start being able to redeem, has been moved to the 21st to the 22nd of March, starting the 21st to 22nd of March. So we have a couple of days yet before they're going to actually start opening it up to us to start making appointments And the idea is they want us to basically get in and out with our appointments before this is announced to the general public in April. So things could start moving really fast in the next few days. It won't be starting before the 21st, but 21st, 22nd, around that time is when it is very possible that the redemption will start. And if you heard the doorbell ring, that's all right. Someone else is going to answer that phone. The US military is in high alert on the East Coast, and they're waiting for a false flag deep state plan to push the United States into full war. I say, if you watch the mainstream media, they're going to be telling pretty dire things, but they're telling a lot of lies at the moment to hold up the narrative. And anybody who knows it, I mean, if for the occasional time I look at the TV news here, it's usually the channels I normally watch is the BBC, or on the German TV, it's either ARD or ZDF, the two major channels that I watch to see what the Germans are doing, and the British BBC obviously is,
right.
and there's little which I find it a little bit more intel to go.
All right, just one point on your point there, the false flag that is coming. I have read reports where they're going to try and make it look like Russia or China has a sub off the East Coast, all right, and is ready to fire a nuclear weapon into the heart of the United States. That is a scare event. That is not true. Okay, so if you start hearing stuff about that, either a Russian sub or a China sub being off the East Coast, that is the false flag. They're trying to whip us up into a frenzy. Okay, go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, I'm sure that room will sink pretty quickly. It won't hold water, put it that way. I'm just trying to be humorous here. So also lots happening in Ukraine. Of course, the deep state is and all the media is trying to tell us that there's a terrible war in Ukraine. What's really happening is that Russia is going in there and it's taking out the biolabs. Apparently, Putin has wanted to take out those biolabs for a long time and has been planning this very scrupulously, and is making sure that they get all the biolabs, take them out of commission, and capture as many of the people involved as possible. And they've been seeing some terrible things, particularly under Chernobyl, where they were rescuing children, and it's absolutely terrible what the Ukraine government and the deep state were doing in Ukraine. And I think it's better that we don't know the details, to be honest, from what I've been seeing. And also in Disneyland, the head of Disney has been arrested for child trafficking, because apparently Disney was involved with that, but I know Charlie mentioned that as well, so I won't go into detail. So when this all starts, we're going to be switching a lot of systems. Not only is it GESARA, but the quantum financial system, the quantum voting system, the quantum healing, which is the medbeds, the quantum physics. Well, that'll be interesting to find out what they're going to do there. I don't know that. Quantum internet, which is the Starlink, which is replacing the current internet. And of course, the quantum Starlink satellite system. They will all be going into effect relatively quickly, if they're not already in control. The internet is going to be rebooted. So last chance to save your data. So if you have data stored on Microsoft platforms, Google platforms, Yahoo, and Amazon platforms, if you're using their platforms to store data, make sure that you make backups onto local hard disks as quickly as possible. If you're using chat groups like Groups.io, for example, or whatever, wherever you are, try and make backups, because once it's gone, and you will not be getting your data back if you haven't secured it. So you have photos online and online storage, wherever it is, just, hard disks are cheap. Go out, buy a hard disk, download it onto there, so that you don't lose your personal data. Because once it's gone, and you won't get it back then. And not only will the mainstream media vastly be going offline, but also applies to TV, newspapers, and many media channels which are owned by the deep state will be either taken over by the white hats or just go out of business. So there's going to be a lot of things, but they will be replaced. Replacement services are ready and waiting to start off, just like Truth Social is ready to take over from Facebook and co, and various other platforms too. Here in Germany, where I am, there's been a lot of military movement, and it's interesting to see that the government switched off all the cameras of the motorways, you call them freeways in the States, I know, and here in Germany they're called Autobahn, but they normally have traffic cameras which are publicly viewable, and they've all been switched off so that you do not see the military movements. There's a lot of military movements within Germany on the roads right now, and I'm expecting that the current German government will be cleaned up quite soon. I don't know any exact dates on that, but it is pretty imminent from what I'm hearing. And Germany is certainly a country full of deep state, so it's a very capitalistic country. And well, actually I was right the first time when I said company, because Germany is a corporation. The Federal Republic of Germany is a corporation registered in Delaware, of all places. So Russia has been putting out reports and reporting to the world what they've been discovering in Ukraine, and though Russia's been making it public, of course the deep state is doing everything they can to hide that, and of course the mainstream media will not discuss it either. So what else have I got here? Apparently the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, we've all heard that term. Apparently that's not the full name. The full name of his foundation is the Bill and Melinda Gates Institute for Population Control. Wow. That was an eye-opener when I saw that. And also here in European countries, the fact that Ukraine is under a Nazi government is being totally hidden and even denied on mainstream media here. I remember seeing on ZDF, the second German channel, which is a major channel like, I would equate it to say ABC, or maybe not as bad as CNN, but getting that direction. They put out saying, oh, we've checked it and there are no Nazis in control of Ukraine. And someone put together an interesting video where they showed him saying that, the announcer on that, and then showing all the clips proving exactly the opposite. And these were clips which had been shown on German television, on that state television. So they were even contradicting themselves, which I thought was very interesting. I'll see if I can put that clip up if I haven't done that already. It's quite interesting. So what else? I'm just going through. I just marked a few major points because I read everything. We'll be here for days. The backbone of the German military, the Bundeswehr, is actually made up of Nazi nationalists. Now, there've always been occasional stories coming through, even in the German media, that there were some sort of Nazi people in the German army, and that it was being suppressed. But apparently now it's much more widespread than has been reported, and they've just been covering it up. So nothing to look out for. But on the other hand, there are elements of the German military which are working with the white hats. So it's probably a bit like in America, where you have some aspects of the military on the wrong side and some on the good side. We're just going to have to wait and see how that comes out. So let me see. Oh yes, and this I thought was interesting. Ripple is slowly being revealed to be the new quantum financial system. So I've heard them talk about Ripple for many times. It's been recommended for a long time, but apparently Ripple is basically the digital system for the quantum financial system. So if you have any Bitcoin still around, move them to Ripple very quickly, because Bitcoin is definitely going to zero.
And so is Ethereum.
And so is Ethereum. Right, I have something on Ukraine here.
Yes, Ripple is XRP, by the way. If you want more information about cryptocurrencies on XRP, Ripple, or the Lobster platform, or Scopuli platform, on Telegram, follow Whiplash347. I personally endorse him for that information. Okay, because he is a personal friend of Tara's, who is Charlie's assistant. Okay, so
all right, okay,
that's good information there.
Okay, right. So there was something about Zelenskyy, that actor and comedian. Okay, I forget his first name. Zelenskyy was perceived by many Ukrainians as a beacon of hope, which is why they elected him president of a country mired in corruption and mismanagement in 2019. That kind of reminds me, didn't you used to have an American president, which was seen as a beacon of hope? Some kind of guy which everybody loved, and he got the Nobel Peace Prize, and then he started more wars than any other president. So didn't you have a president like that over there, Billy?
Yeah.
Sounds kind of familiar.
It sounds very familiar. You know, it's like Obama, maybe. You know,
Obama. Yeah, Obama. Mm-hmm. My brother always calls him Obama. I thought that's quite interesting. And well, it seems that Zelenskyy was the Obama for Ukraine. You know, a popular character, but in reality, just as corrupt as the rest of them.
All show and no substance.
That's right, yes. So, however, the voters obviously did not know that Zelenskyy himself deceived the Ukrainian state for a lot of tax money. After all, he and his inner circle had a network of offshore companies that were used, in particular, to buy expensive real estate in London. This is evidenced by documents containing millions of files from 14 offshore service providers. So, you know, I mean, you know, if I talk to friends here, they think Zelensky's a good guy, and he's as corrupt as they come. I mean, how else would he have billions in the bank?
All right, think about this. You have a comedian, a stand-up comedian, as a president of a country, and you have his entire cabinet who used to work with him, who were writers, comedic writers and producers and directors who are in his cabinet. You can't make this stuff up, folks. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah, apparently what he was doing as a comedian was actually being like a comedic president. He was pretending to be president as a comedian and basically taking the mickey out of the president. So the deep state actors said, well, the guys love this guy and he can act like a president, so let him continue to act like a president. So they just hired him. So with that, I think we'll end the intro part of this show. And I think we can move on to questions.
All right, wonderful. Charlie, you're up first. How you doing?
Fabulous. How you guys this morning? Thank you guys for doing all that you guys do.
Yeah, we're doing our best.
Thank you.
So on the last segment, I heard some talk about Alturians and Palladians, and that brought up a memory I had of something that was never explained. When I was like 10 years old, I saw something that I've never had explained. But can you guys kind of touch on the technologies you think are going to be coming out in the near future?
Have you ever watched Star Trek?
Yes, plenty of Star Trek.
Yes,
That'll
well,
give you an insight into a lot of it right there.
let me put it this way: the deep state, or whoever's behind it, part of their philosophy is they have to tell us what they're going to do. They have to announce it. So what they do is they hide it in science fiction and those kind of shows. So a lot of the things like Stargate and things like that, like a lot of the technology you see in Star Trek, they're actually real technologies that are just put into sci-fi so that they've done their job of telling us what's happening without us actually believing that it's real, because it's science fiction. We'll say, oh yes, of course it's just sci-fi. But a lot of the stuff portrayed, they're not actually portraying the real technology, they're just portraying an interpretation of the technology, but the concept is there. Just like the medbeds have been portrayed in Prometheus, and the other film was Passengers, where they showed these medbeds in action. So a lot of things in sci-fi are kind of really happening. And like we said in the first GESARA show, in Star Trek, they were even showing Q in 2024.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Picard.
The latest episode of Picard, you will find a Q in 2024. Okay,
that's right. Yes,
they actually went back in time travel, and that was the same weekend that we did our Star Trek episode on the after party.
Yes, that's right.
We're like, whoa, this is freaky, man.
We timed
I'll
that well.
have to check that out. Thank you, guys.
All right. Sure, anytime, Charlie. Germaine, you're up next, buddy.
Yeah, I put myself on, but I didn't do my hair today.
Uh-oh. Oh. We're having a bad hair day, are we?
Oh.
Listen, for those of us who have T-bills and, let's say, municipal bonds, are we like dead in the water with the new government coming in? Does a T-bill even make any sense?
T-bill is a treasury bill.
Right,
okay?
but the Fed went into the Treasury, am I correct?
Right, but yeah, so it wasn't issued by the Federal Reserve. It was actually issued by the United States Treasury. Those T-bills will still be funded. Those will still be able to be cashed in like the dong, the dinar, and the zim.
All right.
They are United States Treasury bills.
All right.
Bonds.
So what about, let's say, a municipal bond or something like that?
Municipal bonds are based on local, your local community. I don't know too much about that. It depends on how much money your local community is. Okay.
All right. It's a state. It's a North Carolina state bond.
Yeah, I would not know about that. I know the T-bills are backed,
right.
but
Well,
I don't know about individual state municipal bonds.
All right. Would you think it would be a 1-to-1, or would it be totally lost?
No, I think it would be 1-to-1.
Yeah. All right.
For the T-bills. Okay.
Oh, y'all are doing such a fabulous job, and we really do thank you all from the bottom of our hearts.
All right. Thank you. You have a great day.
And you.
Miss Giacomo? I'm sorry, I butchered that again.
Barbara. It's
Barbara.
Giacomo, that's fine.
Giacomo. I gotta get
my
that
whole
right.
life with every pronunciation you can imagine. I'm so used to it. So you guys had said that anyone 60 and over will be receiving the $5,000 per month. Do you have to be retired even if you're 60 or older to receive that? Do you have to retire?
No, as far as I know, you have to be over 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what has so it's just an age thing. It's not, from what I've heard.
Okay. All right. And then do you is it still okay to buy the XRP? I know we have some, but I didn't know.
Right now, yeah. Like I said, you depending on what wallet you use it on Ripple, which again, there's several different platforms that do Ripple, the Lobster, the Scopuli, things of that nature. And again, I would follow Whiplash 347 on Telegram. He has the best information about that. Okay.
What is that again?
Whiplash 347.
Yeah, because
has-
we were told a
he-
long
he-
time ago that XRP was the only one that was going to be
Right.
converted over. So
Exactly.
um,
Exactly.
yeah, Whiplash 347.
Whiplash, as in whiplash of the neck.
Yeah, Whiplash 347.
347. Yep.
Right.
Got it. All right, super. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Barbara. Tamara, you're up next.
Hi, Billy. How are you? Hope you're
Very good. How are you doing?
How are
Doing
you?
fine.
Switch on your camera. It'd be nice to see you.
Yeah, I decided to put on a nice picture for you. That's not how I look, but I just put a picture there so that you guys can have some.
We're incognito today. Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm an introvert, so I tend to kind of keep to myself. So that's probably why.
Well,
Okay.
the introverts are normally the nicest people, I find.
That's true.
Yes, I do try my best. So, okay, so I guess. Oh, now I'm blushing. I forgot my question now. We should have written it down somewhere.
Uh-oh, we've derailed another train.
That's right.
Okay. So with the dates that you've given, no one can really tell exactly when these things are going to happen, but it does feel as if I'm right, it feels as if this redemption process is probably going to start before all the 10 days of darkness and all the chaos.
No, it will happen. It will happen afterward.
It will happen after.
Well,
the redemption will happen after.
I'm not sure on that, because they did say because they want to get it done before the public is made aware of the currency redemption. So I'm hearing it could be starting as of the 21st. I say, we've heard so many dates. It's very hard to know exactly if it's going to actually happen.
I personally feel it will make more sense if it happens before everything starts, because we don't want to be going out when things are quite chaotic outside. We do.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, you don't want to go out there if there's any riots or crazy people running around, and things of that nature. I think they will take that into consideration as far as things are concerned. Remember, there's going to be about 3 days of disclosure and then the 10 days of darkness. Okay. And I think that brings us back to, again, what we talked about, the Gregorian calendar, which we all follow now, versus the Julian calendar, which is 13 days prior to us. So,
or even the Enoch calendar, that's based on the flat Earth model.
Exactly.
So we don't know yet.
So do you believe in the flat Earth?
I think it's common sense. I just think it's common sense.
Well,
Okay.
To be honest, I watched the movie about it. I looked into it, and I don't get it, because I've been in Australia, I've been in Europe, I've been in the States, I've been in all kinds of places. I've been on the equator, and I know something about astronomy. And when I look at how the stars are in these different places, it makes perfect sense that we're on a sphere, because the stars you see in Australia you do not see in Europe. And one reference point I use is it Andromeda, the Andromeda galaxy?
Well, right. And, well, the North Star is the only one that you can really count on throughout the entire Milky Way to being in the same position at the same times. That's what the old mariners used to use their sextants to navigate by. All right. So, yeah.
I didn't get my own flat Earth from watching any movies. I read the Book of Enoch, and that how it's explained in a way. I understand it. I'm not very good at explaining it, but it's explained in a way as to how the stars and the heavens, they move. And it does talk about astronomy as opposed to astrology in there as well. It's a very detailed, it's obviously one of the removed books from the scriptures. So it does kind of give that kind of detail to let you understand. Once I've read it and I've like kind of mapped it out, then it made sense. And I wish I possessed the vocabulary to be able to explain it to people, but it didn't make absolute sense after reading that.
Right. I did read it myself, okay, and I came away with it as the stars are a map, okay, as to what happens and foretells the future, okay. It can but I don't know if it's flat or if it's round. I've seen evidence to both. Okay, my own personal experience with this is my dad worked for McDonnell Douglas, and he was an inventory liaison with NASA, and he made regular trips down to the Cape during that time frame back in the 60s and early 70s. As a child, I grew up in that realm. All right, and I know all about ham radios and things of that nature, and why we have to have line of sight in order to get the signal across. And we have to use repeaters across the world, which you can jump on any radio tower if you have a directional antenna and use a repeater in order to broadcast around the world. That's why we have to have the different satellites up in space so that you can do the line of sight transmission. Okay, if the Earth is not curved, why are we doing all of that? That's the big question. Okay. Now, is it a sphere? Okay. Is it a round ball? Or is it just the curvature of the plane that we are on? I've seen evidence of both. Okay. So the question is still out there. The truth will be revealed, at some point in time. But but at some stages in my life, I look at it and I go, am I Truman?
Yes.
Referencing to the Truman Show.
Well,
Okay. All right. Is it one big movie production for me? Okay.
Or for each one of us, yeah. Are you drinking coffee? I can see something stimming up there. What's going on?
Oh, don't mind that. I'm burning sage.
The
All right.
burning sage.
All right. But thank you, Tamara. Got to move on. Doug Wheel, go ahead.
Hi, guys.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks very much for doing this, the pair of you.
Oh, we have fun doing it.
I'm sure you do.
Absolutely, yes.
I've got a question that's been puzzling me for a while. You know that in the States you get in the rainbow currency, but actual notes. Here in the UK, we've been printing out, I don't say money going out of fashion, but brand new 20, £10 notes. And it just struck me a while back that if you were getting a rainbow currency and you're doing away with the US dollar, the fiat dollar, then that would stop anybody who's hoarded money in exchanging it through the QFS system. But,
well, yeah, it's a blockchain system, and it prevents you from transferring money illegally from one account to another around the world, because everything has to be accounted for. Okay, that's how they got away with it for so long. But the cash itself, if you come in with $15 billion worth of cash into a redemption center, they're going to look at you and go, "Where did you get all that money? Was that the money that the United States sent to Iran?"
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Okay.
the point I'm trying to make, though, Billy, is the pound notes that we've got over here are basically brand new. And I wondered whether there was anything to do with the QFS in those notes already, or whether we would, and other countries as well, get a new note like America is getting.
Well, does it say Bank of England on those notes?
I haven't looked.
Have a
Okay.
look. If it says Bank
Have
of
a look.
England, that's still the deep
The
state
old
system.
You're right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you notice, folks, on your fiat dollar, it still says United States of America in all capital letters. That is a designation of the corporation, not under
Bank of
common
England.
law.
There we go. We can see
Okay.
it from Pat. Yeah.
Exactly. If it says Bank of England or United States of America in capital letters, that is under the control of the central banks in London.
Yeah, I haven't really heard much about what's happening in the UK as regards banknotes. I have heard that new banknotes have been printed, but until they're released, it's been kept much a better secret from the UK than the US new notes, which we've already seen pictures of.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see what actually happens.
Okay.
Right.
But thank you, Doug. Appreciate it.
Sorry, just one other quick question. You know, the talk about the 6,000.
Curas.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
new technologies.
that people can sort of donate to. How are we going to be able to find out about those?
Well, I understand that they're not allowed to release them until the system has changed, because you don't want the deep state to start using them, or in fact, they've been suppressing them particularly. So I think we're just going to have to wait until the information is released, and then we'll be able to know what we can do. We've heard some rumors about various technologies. We already know about medbeds. We know that there are some kind of matter transporter technologies, a bit like Star Trek, that there are free energy systems and computer systems, which are far beyond what we know now. But that's just a few. There's 6,000. So what is the rest? I think it's going to be very exciting times as these technologies get around. Maybe we'll have some more sci-fi, like flying cars from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows, really? I mean, it's going to come down to what gets revealed and how fast it gets revealed. Now, if you noticed that as far as cures are concerned, hydrochloroquine and especially ivermectin have been showed to cure cancer, to actually kill cancer cells. Well, hydrochloroquine and ivermectin have been out for years, decades even, all right? But nobody told anybody about it, all right? So why are they still pushing chemotherapy when
because
we know...
they have more money, yeah.
Because they make more money. They're not out to cure anything. All they're doing is just perpetuating stuff in order to make more money, right?
Yeah.
That's right. A cured patient is a lost customer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. But Doug, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Becca?
Cheers, guys. Keep it going.
We will.
All right. All right. Thank you. All right. Becca, go ahead.
Hi there.
Hi, Becca.
Hi there. I would like to, Peter, thank you so much for helping me yesterday.
You're welcome.
I'm
glad to see you're here. You made it.
I did make it. Thank you so much. I have a couple of questions. I know you spoke earlier about my husband and I are both retired, and I know with the military, and I'm from Illinois, but with the military, with the state police, with postal workers, you can retire early. We both have like 35 years in, so we retired. You get to retire at like 56 if you have the qualifications.
Right.
What will happen to our pension? Because I'm not 60 yet.
That's a good question. I don't really know an answer
are
to
a
that.
sticky wicket, actually. As it's been explained to me, it depends on how the pension is set up. Okay, you have to look and read the bylaws and the provisions of your pension. Is it set up as an individual account with a banking number in your name? Okay, that goes through a bank, or is it a slush fund that anybody could, the trustees of the pension can raid and use for other purposes? Okay, it really just depends on how it's set up.
And how do we find that out?
You'd have to get a hold of the bylaws and the provisions of the pension fund. Okay, they should give you, a by request, because if it's military, it comes under the Freedom of Information Act. Okay, but they may not want to give it to you, or may jump you through a few hoops in order to get that information. But that's what you'd have to look at, is how the entire pension plan is set up. Is it individual accounts set up with a number, like a bank account number with your name on it? Okay, because if that's the case, then it's already mirrored over into the QFS system. All right. If it is not, and it is being used as a slush fund that a trustee can take out money and do nefarious things with, then that's where we run into issues. Okay.
But one thing you can also remember is that we'll be getting our taxes back from our
Right.
life. So you should have more than enough money coming back to you to tide you over until you're 60.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of confusing, but My husband is here listening with me, so hopefully he can remember what you said because, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you can always watch the recording. We'll be releasing the recording, of course.
Well,
Right.
that's it.
But pensions are really just, it depends on what pension fund it's coming from and how it was set up originally. Okay.
Yeah, it's with the post office. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. I honestly don't.
And
Okay.
my second question is there, when they do the redemption, when they let you know, do they call you? Do they send you an email? Because I don't usually answer the phone.
We will be posting everywhere as much as we possibly can the 800 numbers here in the United States. It may be different in different countries. Instead of an 800 number, it may be just a generic number that you'd have to call.
Yeah, and from what I hear, it's not only 800 numbers, there are also going to be links. And basically, just make sure you're not using a VPN when you call the numbers or you use the links, because otherwise they'll think you're in a completely different place. So make sure you have a standard internet connection when you use the links, and then you'll be redirected to someone for your area who will then make an appointment for you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you,
You're
Becca.
welcome.
Jim Dixon.
Yes, thank you, Peter, last night for helping me get on here.
Yeah,
Finally.
I had a very tough night last night. I was probably about 300 or 400 emails I was answering last night. It was a long job.
I can imagine. And Billy, thank you for all this. You mentioned that there will be 2 days worth of televising what's going on, and then there'll be a 10-day blackout. I presume that's when military law will come into effect. And
yeah, basically. Yeah, because while we're watching the movies they put on for us, they'll be clearing up and arresting the evil guys in that period. So they want us off the streets, watching TV and learning about these things while they are clearing things up. Also, I don't know this for sure, but my theory is they talk about 3 days morning and 10 days of darkness. Now that's 13 days. And the difference between the Gregorian and Julian calendars are also 13 days. So I think that we'll have these 13 days and then continue with the date as if it hadn't happened.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other currency.
Basically, it's kind of like going into a coma and waking up 13 days later. Okay.
Any time period that you've heard when
it's all fluid. We're waiting for events, not dates.
That's right. It all depends on how the events, but it should be happening almost any time. Huh?
Like was reported, right now there's a company in China printing stuff up for the Queen's death.
Yeah.
All right. If they're already doing that and it's marked as 2022, that's imminent, man. You know, all they got to do is ship it over to England at that point. You know, and let everybody purchase up all the memorabilia of the Queen's death.
Yeah, and they're probably wondering how they could get it printed so quickly.
Exactly.
Quickly made in China and printed with these dates. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Yeah, I've got a friend that's in the National Guard, and he was notified a couple of days ago that they are on a moment notice, and he has to carry his equipment with him in the car. At all times now.
Yep.
He'll get his weaponry and everything when he gets to wherever he's got to go. But he called and said, "Keep everything with you."
I have a stepson who is a major in the Army, and he graduated from MIU, Military Intelligence University. So I get to call him an oxymoron now. And I cannot get a hold of him right now.
Yeah, I've got a friend in the Navy.
Impossible.
He said they are on full alert, and he's been cut off from his family of contacting or talking to his family at all.
Right.
So,
okay.
Thank you very much for everything.
So it's
thank you, Jim.
Beginning to get really hot and interesting.
Oh yeah. All right, Dave Morton, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi, Dave.
I've got a few little questions for you. Hopefully you can help. The first
where are you, Dave?
I'm in Swindon, UK.
Oh, Swindon. Okay, fine.
You're saying about the internet getting wiped and to make sure you've got backups of everything.
Yeah.
I use Veeam to back all my stuff up anyway. But are our local computers in danger, or is it just the servers?
Well, obviously your computer, or in your house, is going to be fine, and it's possible that private companies, that their servers will remain, but we just don't know. What we do know is that the major players like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and their online services is likely to disappear.
That's interesting, because the company I work for uses AWS.
Yes, in fact, I use AWS as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Right,
so
okay.
it could all go bye-bye.
So basically, my own computer should be fine. There shouldn't be any problems with that.
No, your own PC. I mean, you've got physical control of it in your own house. So
yeah,
right.
Yeah. So it's not like
when the power goes out and the internet goes down, I would unplug it.
Yeah, no, I always do unplug mine when I'm not using it, so that's okay.
Make sure you got plenty of films to watch and movies and.
Good also book to read, some crossword puzzles, things like that.
Yeah.
The other question I have is, where are we? For people that have got Dong, and I haven't got that much, I've only got about 10 million, so I'm presuming that's going to be worth a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
If I don't know you've got Dong, how are we going to know the numbers? Is the government going to broadcast them, or who's going to be responsible for broadcasting the numbers?
Well, obviously we are tied in with the people, and we're constantly monitoring all the sources we have. And as soon as we know, we're going to let you guys all know. So make sure you just keep following our channels, and I'm pretty sure once it is known, it's going to be blasted out from the entire community of people who know about GESARA Curfest.
Okay.
This is
So
the one
else,
big question, yeah.
Yeah, look for my carrier pigeon,
is going to
okay?
be going insane, wondering what the hell's going on with this thing.
Well, that's right. That's good for us, because we want to get our money in peace.
Trying to wake people up. If people go to work, socialize with the same group of people, and just watch TV, how the hell do we wake them up?
Well, 2x4 to the back of the head, maybe.
I know. Look, I think when they're suddenly being told they have no more taxes to pay, all their debts have been cleared, that they're suddenly getting a whole load of money, I think that's going to wake up a lot of people, and they're going to say, "What the hell is this all about?" And then they have people like us who say, "Look, what was that term they said? We tried to tell you."
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Well, I've managed to persuade. Well, I've managed to wake up most of my family. It's just one of my sons that's asleep.
You're having more luck than I am. I mean, my brother and I, we're both awake, and but the rest of my family, I mean, I'm not even talking to my sister anymore, and she lives in the UK because she just says, "Oh, it's all ridiculous what I'm saying." She said, "Oh, I've looked into this GESARA thing. That's just a hoax."
Yeah,
my
wife left me 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I've got friends at work, and they're
yeah.
investing heavily in crypto at the moment, thinking they're onto a really good thing. So,
crypto, yeah. Tell them if they want to invest that kind of thing, just not Bitcoin, but XRP. At least give them that tip.
They don't listen to me. I think they know everything. So,
well, that's the thing.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. All right, cheers. Pat Bishop, hello, dear. One of the regulars.
Absolutely.
Hi. Thank you.
Hi, Pat.
Confirmation about this earlier about Russia. They're in Ukraine sorting out the biolabs. Is there any action taking place? Any fighting going on?
There's a lot of fighting from what I'm hearing. Yeah. But the fighting is between. Well, the fighting is where the biolabs are. It's not against the population. And they keep showing all these refugees leaving the country, but that's only about 10% of the population. The 90% know perfectly well that they are safe, and
right,
and that Russia is there to help them.
And some of the footage that you're seeing is either CGI game footage from a video game, or footage that was used years ago. They showed a picture, a video of bombed buildings out. that was supposed to be Ukraine. It's the same video footage that they used for Syria 10 years ago.
Yeah, I understand that. It's just feeding back to friends of mine, because if I go and say, well, they've gone into GESARA and they're still fighting, that's a clash, because GESARA, you're not supposed to fight anybody.
No, no, they're still clearing it up. But Ukraine isn't in GESARA yet. Russia is in GESARA, or basically starting that. But Russia's not waging a war. They're clearing up terrorists, if you like. I recently saw a report on the BBC where they showed this reporter next to one of these buildings, which is blown up, which they claim to be a hospital. And I thought, well, this is interesting, because there's obviously a live report, and he's outside these buildings. And it turns out it was one of the biolabs that he was outside. It was one of the biolabs which had been destroyed and hadn't been a hospital for months. It was a biolab for dangerous things. And that's why it has just been destroyed.
I just want to give them any ammunition to come back at me, and attack me with saying, well, this is not true because of this sort of thing. But I've got the BBC on in the background now, and it's saying that Biden's threatening China not to get involved.
Well,
it's part of the nuclear attack.
So Biden, who is an actor.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's not really Biden. The real Biden died some time ago. This is just an actor in a mask, the Biden we're seeing now. I mean, if you look at the ears, that's what convinced me. If you look at the ears of the real Biden, he has ears which are sort of rounded, and but this Biden has attached, like I have. I have attached ears.
Yeah.
Okay, and so it's obviously not the same person.
Yeah, and I understand about him being an actor. It's just that it's flashed on there.
Yeah, well, but the media is going to have to change their tune very soon, because otherwise they'll be out of business.
Exactly. All right.
Any idea how we deal with local councils? Do we ignore them, or just
play along now? They'll be gone soon enough.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to play the game. It's one big chess match, and the only move that they really have left is to flip the board over and discuss and try and just kill everything. But we're not going to let that happen.
They've just sent out the council tax bills in the UK. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't pay them if I were you.
Yeah, I would push it off as long as you possibly can. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
All right, Grant. Hello, sir. You look nice and reclined.
I'll get unreclined. How are you guys today?
Doing good, sir. Where are you from?
Tulsa. I talked to you last week, I think, or a week before.
Okay, Tulsa. Yep. I asked you why the bars in L.A. closed before the bars in Tulsa.
Good memory.
I remember that.
Right.
Hey, I scratched my head over one thing on we got a bunch of dongs, dinars, zims. I'm just thinking that the dinars, has Iraq gone under the gold back system?
I think the Vietnam dong has. Okay.
How about the dinar?
I think Iraq is on the verge. They keep talking about meetings and things. I think they're on the verge of it. They're already talking about it in Iraq. It's just a matter of when they actually pull the switch.
Well, I think because
if they have.
They already paid off their debt to Kuwait. Okay, Iraq did.
Yeah.
Okay, through the QFS. So if that had happened, I believe they're already in it.
Okay, so you've got this gold-backed dinars that you're going to turn in for dead fiat dollars.
Nope. Because it'll be the new.
So is it going to be the rainbow currency?
It would be rainbow currency, yes.
Yeah, all the conversions are to the new currencies, not to fiat currencies.
Gold and precious metals backed. Yes.
That's why we're all waiting for this to happen, because they're not going to exchange into fiat.
Nope.
Would you suggest setting up a trust fund or something to dump that into real quickly if you're here in the States?
You can do that after you've been at your appointment. You don't need to do that for the appointment. So once you've got the funds, you then have some time to set up a trust fund if you need it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about taking it out of the gold back system where we haven't officially said that we're on it, and selling my currencies for even rainbow currency. How do we?
Well,
know
right now,
this?
if I would have some cash on hand, just for, enough for about a month or two, just in case things get really bad. Okay.
Yeah, I get
all right.
that. But if we're going to have within this next week, this 800 number possibly come up, that means within 2 weeks, we could be going through redemption. Is
Yes.
that reasonable?
That's reasonable.
It's very possible. I say it's supposed to happen before the 4th of April. So it can't be long now.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's not far off. I've been reading the original Constitution for the United States of America and some of the history behind that. You kind of think we're getting close.
Yep. Oh, yeah. The question was, Peter, in the chat room here, what is rainbow currency? Let's go through that real quick. Grant, thank you very much. Okay.
So long, farewell.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So let's explain the basics behind the rainbow currency real quick. We have new notes that are being produced by the U.S. Treasury Department, okay, that are different colors. They're still in the same denominations, the 1, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100, and they have different pictures and they look a lot different. They are also a different size. That's why you're not seeing them in the ATMs as yet. They had to rebuild the ATMs to handle this new currency, okay? So if you see an ATM out there at your local bank, especially the Wells Fargo's bank that says out of service, that's because they are in the process of getting the guts taken out of the old one and putting the new guts in order to handle the new rainbow currency. Okay. Also, it will not say Federal Reserve note on it. It will say United States of America in both capital and small letters. Okay. Treasury note. That will be asset backed, gold asset backed. Okay. Does that explain it for everybody? Yes, no in the chat.
Yeah, I think you did a pretty good job, Billy.
All right, that's the Reader's Digest condensed version. Okay.
I said long time since I've looked at the Reader's Digest. Does it still exist?
It still exists in some form, But all right, Mary, go ahead. Mary Perry, go ahead and unmute.
I got to unmute.
Yep.
Peter and Billy, God bless you guys for keeping us all informed. We really appreciate it.
Welcome,
last
Mary.
week, my question is, last week, Biden signed an EO banning cash and going to digital currency. What does he think he has?
He has no power. He has no
because
power.
It's not QFS. I'm sure he's not talking about.
That's the same as FDR FDR signing over and saying we're taking all of your gold back in the 1930s. It had no real teeth to it. It had no real power. But because the United States military was standing behind it, okay, or the threat of the United States military was standing behind it, everybody freaked out and gave over their gold, just like they would if they were trying to take away your guns. It has no teeth. You stand up against them and you say, no, that's not going to happen. But they do this and they put the pressure on the big banks in order to do this, but it has no teeth whatsoever. Don't worry about it. The EO doesn't mean a thing. It's not a law. It is an executive order.
Yes, I know. I know that.
And in order to do anything like that, Congress has to approve it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering if that was a sign that the fake administration think that the Great Reset is happening.
Well, what it is, it's all theatrics. Like, it's a movie. We're living out the last days of this thing that we are calling life right now, okay, and we have to play along with it for now. But what they're doing in Congress and as far as executive orders are concerned, it has no teeth whatsoever. No teeth. Okay.
Okay. This is my last question. Peter, you were out of the office when we were discussing the $5,000 for people over 60.
Yeah, I had my headphones on. I could still hear you guys.
Oh, okay. So people were asking about, was it going to be in your normal Social Security check, or was it going to be a credit card or whatever? And we didn't have an answer. So do you know anything else to add to that?
Well, what I hear is we're going to get a debit card. That we're going to be given a debit like a Visa or MasterCard. And it's just going to have the currency on that so that you can just go and spend it from the card, just like you can anywhere.
It may be a Glint card for all we know that's already gold backed, you know. It's already up and running.
Well, whatever it is, it's supposed to be a plastic card, which we get just like any other card, and it's got a massive amount of credit on it.
Okay, so it's not going to be in your regular Social Security deposit then?
It's like Social Security. Remember, all this is going away. The Social Security Administration is going away. The IRS is going away.
Right.
The Federal Reserve is going away. 90% of the government that we know today is going to go bye-bye.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. And we're talking nationwide, not just in Washington, D.C. We're talking about your local governments, your state governments, and everything else are going to be about 10% the size of what they are now, and get rid of a lot of this government bureaucracy that has come into play, and the big government, which has been suppressing us and trying to enslave us for years. Okay?
Okay, there's a new political party that you could register with the state of Colorado, and it's called Constitutional American.
If you feel like joining a political party, that is up to you. I consider myself an independent. All right?
Right.
I'm not a liberal, conservative, or anything else. I am a humanist.
Right.
All right. I believe in common law for all and justice for all around the world, not just here in the United States, but for everybody. And that
But they're
comes
telling
under
us we can't vote unless we register.
that's BS.
No, in their system. Let me say something about not being able to vote. I haven't been able to vote for a long time. You see, I'm from the UK, but I'm not living in the UK. I'm living in Germany. I've been living in Germany for 40 years or something. So 10 years after I left the UK, I was no longer allowed to vote in the UK. And I'm not allowed to vote in Germany because I'm not a German citizen, if there ever was such a thing. Basically, I have been voteless for a long time, and to honestly, I feel quite happy every time people say about, oh, who are you going to vote for? I say, I'm not voting for anybody because I can't vote for anybody. But quite honestly, it's very hard to find people in the existing system you'd want to vote for.
Okay.
I understand that, but
yeah, I understand the political party system is going to go bye-bye. You have to rethink everything that we've been doing for the last 200 years plus. All right, is pretty much BS, and it's all going to go bye-bye. All right. So will new political parties emerge? I doubt it, because political parties have a tendency to be secret societies, that harbor evil. So
there will be a government.
There will be a government.
About 10% of the size of its current size.
All right.
Yeah, but since everything is sliding into the future, I was concerned about the 2022 midterms and not being able to vote there. So
I think we're not going to have a problem with that, because here's the thing that's going to have to happen. Once the Biden administration has been exposed, okay, and Biden is taken out, and Kamala Harris is also taken out because she's implicated with Biden. Pelosi gets taken out because of her ties with Ukraine. That leaves a dysfunctional government, okay? At that point in time, then the military can step in under the law of war manual, okay? This is what we're talking about, the book. And everything has to be done by the book. When you have a dysfunctional government, the military takes over, declares martial law, and then the military has 120 days in order to set up new elections, okay? That's what we're looking at, all right? Once the new elections are coming in, then people register to run in the election. That's what Trump is doing right now. Okay, he's holding his rallies and whatnot. Basically, they're rallies to get people, keep people interested in Trump, so he has the foothold in the elections themselves. Got it?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mary.
All right, thank you, Mary. All right, Murray in Tennessee, or Tennessee Murray, whichever. Go ahead.
Hey, buddy. Hey, I'm curious to know what's your take on this idea of having the 300 plus biolabs. I know that they're finding a lot of them in Ukraine, but also there's talk of the biolabs being here in the United States at the military bases and such. And so I'm wondering what your guys' take on, what kind of cleanup that's going to be like.
It's going to be a massive cleanup effort. A lot of it has already been done. Okay. You'll notice strange construction projects, earthquakes, things of that nature happening around the United States. All right. In places that you don't normally see earthquakes or these, or explosions or hear something going off. It's also disguised as buildings collapsing or, buildings being destroyed. All right. Such as the Walmart over in Plainfield, Illinois. Okay. That went up in smoke the other day. Okay. Those are all things to disguise exactly what's going on. One of the biggest DUMBs here in the United States is actually almost right underneath my feet here in St. Louis. It is called the Black Hole. All right. It was developed back in the 50s. Okay. And it is underneath St. Louis International Airport, or what we call Lambert Field. Okay. It was developed there, and that's where the original computers for our nuclear defense system were held before NORAD was built out in Cheyenne Mountain. At one point in time, for about 15 years, St. Louis was the #1 targeted place for a nuclear strike here in the United States. Okay? I lived with that. I knew all about it. My dad knew all about it. Okay? And he said, if he told my mom, if you ever get a call from me and all I say is Grandpa, you take the kids and you head down to Merrimack Caverns, because that's where Grandpa lived. And it was a natural nuclear blast protection, the caverns down there. And they also put in those caverns plenty of supplies. I mean, it had 25 years worth of food for nearly 5,000 people in the caverns. And my grandpa was a land surveyor for Franklin County, where that was. He knew every back entrance into those caverns. And I still have the maps today.
Okay, so the hope then is this is taking place sooner than later, because some people think that the cleanup's going to take, even years.
It will take years. It will take years, and that's another one of the humanitarian projects that needs to be funded to clean up all that stuff. We have toxins that have been poisoning our water supply. We have toxins that have been poisoning our land. We have not just chemical compounds, but we also have nuclear waste. We have a nuclear waste site up just north of the airport in St. Louis. All right, that needs to be cleaned up immensely. Where did all that nuclear waste come from? Guess where it came from? It came from the Black Hole. Now, let me tell you a little story here. You see this big arch behind me? All right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was built on the St. Louis riverfront in order to connect the Mississippi River to the Missouri River, bypassing what is known as the chain of rocks. There is a rock formation that spans the Mississippi River going north, preventing any shipping line, okay, or any boats from going up or down the Mississippi River without catching on those rocks. So they built the canal. Well, guess what? You can't get a submarine up a canal without being seen, okay? So there is a submarine tunnel that goes underneath and dug out from the Mississippi River all the way out Highway 70 to the dumb out there. And then it empties out into the Missouri River underneath what is known as the Blanchette Bridge, which is Highway 70 here in St. Louis. Okay? I know this for a fact. Now, the question is, and Peter has asked me about this, all right, is the arch behind me some sort of portal that is waiting to be opened? And maybe one of the targets of the 34 buildings that happen to get destroyed around the world. Okay. So there's that. Right, Peter?
That's right. It could very well. I mean, that could be your Stargate. Who knows?
Exactly. Because the way it's
So-
designed, it's 630 feet tall, 630 feet wide. Okay, made of solid stainless steel. Each individual section weighs as much as a locomotive.
Wow. So so with the, I guess my question was also kind of geared towards the stronghold of the cabal with these biolabs. If there's 300 and some biolabs, does it seem that the people that are running the biolabs, being the bad guys, are they to be taken out relatively quickly, and then and then this massive cleanup take place? Is that kind of your?
It's been quietly done, as we reported earlier, and Peter did in his intel. Okay, the fact that the FEMA site was taken over, where the EBS is at. Okay, that was one of the DUMBs. They are slowly taking out all of them around the world, and especially here in the United States. It's just that you don't know about it because you think it's something else. Okay, if the media is reporting on some big major building collapse, fire, or this, that, or the other thing, or an earthquake that you don't get earthquakes in your area too much, that's probably exactly what it is.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Well, thanks for the information.
All right, thank you, Murray. Mouton Hetty over in France.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
I am actually, hold on, I'm trying to get my camera on, but I turned it off. Hey, here we are.
Hello.
My first name is France. So.
Hi, France.
So you're not in France then?
No, I'm born in Montreal. I live in the United States now.
Okay, great.
All right.
It's the French version of Francis.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I have two questions. And I've been trying to get on for a couple shows and just never made it. So they're old. You might have answered and I didn't hear. One is, when phones and things go off, will the landline phones still work?
Landline, what you known as a POTS line, or plain old telephone service, is what POTS stands for.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, yes, they will.
They will still work.
Right,
That's
because
good.
they don't require electricity like your normal, like your new phones do today. The old telephone system, okay, which still is in existence, if you have a POTS line, okay, it works without electricity. Okay, if you have an old rotary phone, it still works. Okay,
Yeah, well,
it is left open for open communication by way of telegraph. The old dot.
Does it have to be a rotary one? Because ours has push buttons.
Rotary, yes, it has.
No,
to
rotary
be.
push button should be. I mean, it's the old system. You're talking about the old analog phones as opposed to digital phones.
Exactly.
So
And
we need to have a rotary one.
A rotary
Well,
phone?
no,
the push button will work. The push button will work.
I don't see there's a problem between rotary and push button.
Okay.
It's just it's more an issue between analog and digital. For example, analog phone lines have pretty much gone away completely in Germany. Everything we have is digital, and a lot of these phones these days are actually IP phones. In other words, they actually connect via the internet. That's how my phones work. That although I have physical phones, it's not a direct cable from my phone to the exchange, but it's just a link to the internet router, and the internet router sent it out as IP packages. So those
not through the internet.
Those will most likely go offline.
Right. Yeah.
The internet, but ours could. And my other question, you mentioned about emails that would go away. And do you have an email that will survive that we could join?
Well, if the internet goes down, all email goes down. Okay, that we know for sure. All right. The email, are you able to receive email, or is it outgoing over at the info address there, Peter?
Well, the only thing we know for sure, which is going to stay online, is Signal.
Right. And I put Signal.
Signal, and otherwise you can send a telegram.
All right, let me send Peter's, put that in
like
chat
a for real
here.
telegram.
Yeah, Peter's Signal channel on Signal.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I have a.
I joined it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I set that up a long time ago as a backup.
Keep telling people not to use it because it's for emergency.
That's right. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not an official chat group. Okay. It's,
Yeah.
Well,
it's,
actually, a lot of people are chatting on it. I look
I
there
know,
occasionally.
Yeah.
So let them chat. You know, why not?
yeah, exactly.
All right. So I guess I'm all set with that. I'll be getting notifications through that from
Right.
you guys.
Yeah.
Look for my carrier pigeon or my message in a bottle. Okay.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, France. All right. Boris from Slovenia. Welcome, sir.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
I have a question about Vietnam Dong. I would like to know about these redemption centers. As far as I understood, there is no official site about that, right?
Not as yet, no.
And you will put it in the group when it will be.
Once we have the information, we'll be posting it as much as we possibly can.
That's right. They're supposed to be worldwide, but they say most people won't have to travel more than 50 miles to the next one, unless you're in a really rural area. I mean, if you're on a little island in the middle of the Atlantic, you may have a little bit further. I don't know if they have an redemption center there, but
yeah, I'm just asking because I'm from a small country and I don't know how it will be here.
Well, I say we will all find out. They're not giving us the list of redemption centers. That's all top secret right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. If you happen to live in a little town that's spelled DUMBASS in Texas, okay, you may have to drive a little bit more than 100 miles. Yeah, DUMBASS. Yeah, dumbass Texas. All right.
I thought you were talking about Donbass in Ukraine.
No, that's the way it's pronounced in Texas. Okay.
All right. Okay. So dumbass. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. My second question is about. I think this RV probably won't happen before Biden is taken out.
Well, no, I don't know, because GESARA will take him out anyway. What I'm hearing is it should happen before the 4th of April, because that's when the public is supposed to be made known about the changing currencies, not before then. And as far as I've heard, we're supposed to be able to have our chance to exchange before then, because it'll be crazy after then. Yeah.
Exactly.
And Peter, do you know anything about currencies in European Union? Because probably EU will not exist after that. So
that's right, true. I hear the euro is going to be stopped, and we're going to go back to our original currencies. So in Germany, we're going to go back to the Deutschmark, the German mark.
Right, France, the franc, and so on, so forth, and so on.
Okay, and the Gmail will probably go down.
What was that?
Gmail will.
Gmail. Well, Gmail belongs to Google, so I would not count on Gmail continuing.
Exactly. Yeah, because I'm asking because, for example, if I have an account with Crypto Broker, and I have account with my Gmail, that won't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So most email servers are going to go down. They're going to go bye-bye. Yahoo, Gmail,
yes, so
SBCglobal.net, all the big popular ones.
So I better change email now, yeah? Before that.
Would be a good idea, yes. Or at least have a secondary email account, which is
a secondary email account, or be on Signal, one of those. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. That's all, guys. Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome,
Thank you, Boris. Appreciate it. You have a great day, sir. All right, Matthew Fotu. Go ahead, Matthew. Just got to unmute your microphone there. Yep, bottom left portion of the screen, you should see a little microphone icon with a slash through it. Click that, it should unmute you.
Great. Thanks for your patience. My question is, in the previous segment, on the after party, you spoke about the redemption of the Zim and something about 30 cents in 100 million or something along those
30
lines.
cents into 1 million Zim, yeah.
Into 100 million, did you say?
No,
30
cents
cents
per
30
million
cents on the
Zim.
million.
In a million, okay. So as I understand, so there's 30 million for personal use and 70 million, up to 70 million for projects. Is that the interpretation?
Well, no.
Not quite. No, 30 million is what you get for a 100 trillion Zim note. Okay. Now,
For project use.
No, the 30 million is for your private use, and anything above that is for your project use.
Right.
So if you have a project which needs 100 million, then they might give you an exchange rate where you get 130 million, and the 30 million goes to you, and they have to live with that and be happy, and the 70 million goes into your project.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
But I don't know if people understand just how much $100 trillion is. Okay. For example, the United States national debt is calculated at $30 trillion right now. Well, 100 trillion is 3 times plus 10 trillion. Okay. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 times our national debt.
Yes, but we're not getting the trillions. We're getting
We're getting millions.
It is 30 cents per million. So don't tell people they think they're going to get trillions. That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Okay. But your humanitarian projects and what you have to invest in will be quite substantial. Okay. But Matthew, it looks like you froze up there. Gonna move on. Susan Mendy, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, Susan.
Yes, it is. Thank you. I just wanted to ask about U.S. savings bonds. Will they still be valid?
U.S. savings bonds, they are backed by the United States Treasury, not the Federal Reserve.
Okay, so they will still be good.
They should still be good and be able to be exchanged for the new rainbow currency. Yes.
Perfect. And what about emails through your cable company? So like through Optimum?
Most cable companies are going to go bye-bye. Okay. It's all going to come crashing down. I mean, even though it may be from a local cable company, Optimum or whatnot, a lot of those are subsidiaries of Google or Time Warner or, such and such.
They're still going to need the infrastructure. So I don't think they're going to disappear so quickly. It could be they're just taken over and that it no longer belongs to the deep state thing. But, we're still going to need the infrastructure, which the cable companies have built. We're not all going to have new technologies overnight. So I'm not sure they're all going to go goodbye on a local level. Maybe that the parent company disappears and it's replaced by a whiteout operation. That's possible.
Okay, so other than Signal, is there any email companies that you recommend or?
Well,
not really.
Okay.
It's hard to know which ones are good and which are bad.
Okay, so I guess we'll just have to see once everything falls out.
Right. And I would pay attention to the Trump media group, okay? And pay attention to what sort of platforms they put out besides Truth Social and the media platforms and the email platforms that they start putting out here within the next week. Because I think they're probably going to be the ones that stay put and have the most access, because those are going to be originally linked to the Starlink system and not based here on the on the terrain. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Susan. All right. I don't see your name there, dearie. You look like you're on a mobile phone in your car.
Yes, hi, I am.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Doreen.
Hi, Doreen. Where are you from?
Hi, Doreen.
I'm from New York. I'm actually sitting down by the river, the Hudson River. I'm like 20 minutes from West Point. So
You're in a van down by the river. Is that right? Wait, let me do my Chris Farley impersonation, okay?
To look at the river. I have a couple of questions. The med beds. Now, the med beds, we've heard so many things, and you can get into these government conspiracies that can overwhelm your mind. That's the med bed can take your soul. How would we know that the med bed is by the good people for good things, for healing? Is it going to be in hospital situations or?
Well, first of all, the med beds are going to be run by the military.
Oh, I lost everybody
in the beginning.
So if they're going to charge you for the treatment, then it's not.
No, I have
beds.
no.
You lost your audio?
Nope, I lost you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're still here.
We're still here.
Are you there?
Yep,
yeah,
we're still here.
We're definitely here. We can still hear you.
Yep, still here.
No, I lost you.
All right. Sorry, it sounds like your audio has gone out on the things. Sorry about that, Doreen. We'll leave you up, see if you can get talking again. But Lady J, go ahead and unmute for right now.
Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, hello, Lady J.
Hello, Lady J.
I lost you.
We're still here.
All right, all right. Go ahead, Lady J. Go ahead.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
My name is Trisha, and I am in Georgia. I am like 2 hours. I'm sorry.
Right.
Should I?
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Lady J.
Go ahead. Carry on.
Go ahead.
Questions. The first one is, just give me your insights, please, so I can direct my thinking a little bit better. So I have a business in health and wellness, and within the last couple of months, like the end of 2021, I ventured into federal contracting to add on to my business. So I've been kind of going back and forth within myself on, am I wasting my time doing that, since if everything is going to go away, I'm not sure if I should even continue my energy towards that just yet.
Well, it never hurts to have the contacts. Okay, that would be number one. But number two, all federal contracts that are currently in force will be dissolved. Okay, so I would still pursue your contacts, all right, if you feel that is worthwhile. But
just because the deep state infrastructure disappeared doesn't mean that the people disappear.
Right.
And people will still have needs, and so there are going to be ways to help people with their needs. It's just, it may be that the way you do business changes, but there's still going to be people out needing services and needing your help, and you're still going to be there to provide the help. It's just maybe it just won't be connected to the Fed anymore, that you're just doing it privately with them.
Right. And remember this, everybody's going to have to be retrained on new medical technologies and whatnot. I mean, what you're doing right now may be great, and it may be helping people tremendously. The thing about it is, when all of these 6,000 cures come into play, the med beds come into play, and things of that nature, it may be a good idea to retrain yourself into what they know, okay, who's training everybody, and become a technician in that field. You follow me?
The question I was asking, it's like the government contract, it could be within my business. Let's say, for an example, if I wanted to now provide products for the government, because they can't directly purchase anything themselves, so they have to use like small businesses or whatever to purchase. So let's say, for instance, if I wanted to supply gloves, because I am a nurse and I'm in the healthcare
right,
like that, like just all of the government contracting, like overall, like should I not put my energy towards that right now and just wait and see what happens? Or
I would wait and see what happens. Okay. The thing about it is, I know the terminology of you snooze, you lose. Okay. But in this case, government contracts are going to be null and void here coming up real soon anyway. Okay. So I would push it off as long as you possibly can, but keep in contact with people, because that may be valuable. Okay. The people themselves, not the entity. Okay.
last thing, please. I've been left the hospital settings even before this pandemic thing happened because of the things I didn't like or see or whatever. But my thoughts are now, since we know that most hospitals, most medical facilities are government controlled, can you guide our thoughts on what will happen? We know about the med beds and everything, get that, but there's a lot of people that are still like in need and will be in these facilities. A lot of these people that will depend on things for electricity, like emergency things. What will happen to the hospital?
All right. So if you're talking about electricity, we're coming into a time of free energy. The Tesla coils are already up and operating at this point. We're going to come into a time of free energy where it flows through the atmosphere. There'll still be infrastructure that needs to be done, but once these switches flip and we start going to that free energy, my goodness, there's not going to be any cost, really, other than maybe for some specialized equipment for real rural areas, okay, as far as a capturing device is concerned. But the main infrastructure that's already in place right now will be able to handle the Tesla energy, okay?
Of course, the people, like the corrupt people that we know that are in these facilities taking care of our loved ones.
They'll be vetted out. All right. All right. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last piece there. Your voice your internet kind of took it out.
Okay, I was just saying that that was just my concern as far as there are people still in care of these corrupt people. So I just didn't know like how soon, because it takes a process to take people out, put people in. So that's just been on my heart, like how is all this going to play out, especially in those fields. So I just wanted to guide my thoughts a little bit better. So I think.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. You have a wonderful day, okay? All right. Sorry, dear, it just says iPhone. But I see you have a placard behind you up on the wall. So I can't read what it says.
Hey, this is Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
I just have a couple of quick questions. The power is only going to be out briefly, correct? But the internet and stuff is going to be out for a while.
That's our comprehension.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So we don't need to like go out and spend all this money on buying a generator.
I have one as a backup, just because.
Okay.
Because I live in a somewhat rural area, and during the wintertime, people run into, because of the terrain around here, people run into telephone poles all the time,
Right.
But,
Well, I had a freaky thing happen to me last weekend. I even posted it on your site, Billy. My power went out from 8:45 last weekend until like 2:45 that same day. We had no power, and I had to go charge my phones on my car. Had to crank up my car and charge my phones because I have no generator or anything. But also, they're saying it was because of trees. I think it might have been something else. But I also had another freaky thing happen to me that following Monday, this past Monday. Have you ever heard of Sezzle?
Yes.
It's a interest-free payment thing that through a boutique I go. I went to update my new debit card because my bank has merged with another bank. And the Sezzle, when I went to update it, it took my name all the way back to my maiden name.
Oh my goodness.
Is that not weird?
That is weird.
So I'm wondering if my bank's already in place.
It could be. All right. Is it a local bank or a national
It
bank?
is local.
It's local?
Well, I don't know.
Okay. I don't want to know the details of where you're going or anything. But it really depends on how powerful your local bank is. Okay. If some of the smaller banks, credit unions and stuff like that may not come on board for a while, but a bigger bank, that is
These
local.
are two bigger banks.
Okay.
That merge.
Right. It may be. It may be.
In Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were down for like a couple of weeks. No no interaction inside. You had to call and make an appointment. And then
Mhm.
one weekend,
Mhm.
their whole banking system was down.
Mhm.
And it just, I don't know. I just thought I'd get your opinion.
No, my local bank here that I bank with here in St. Louis went down the weekend of the 17th of February. Okay. And I was like, okay, I know what's going on here. And I see
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ATMs, a lot of their ATMs that are out and about are being swapped out right now. They're actually physically swapping them out.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right. And they just say, well, we're doing major upgrades to our system. Yeah.
Yeah.
We know what's happening here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That's right. Yes.
All right.
All right. Anything else?
That's going to do it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you
Patrick
for what y'all
Tarmy.
do.
Thank you.
Hello, Billy. Hello, Peter. How you doing?
Yeah,
Very
we're
good,
fine.
sir.
We're fine. What?
Great to meet you guys. I'm delighted to see that you've set up this forum.
All right. Where are you at, Patrick?
Yeah, it was a lot of work setting up the forum. I say we had to do it in a week, and we got it there, which is quite a lot in itself, because setting up a forum, a new show, and all the infrastructure, it was a massive job, and I was working flat out around the clock. So I'm glad we got something working reasonably well, and I'm sure with time we're going to get more and more people into the show, and it's going to be a great one. I think we just have to work out that we're not clashing with the other show, because I'm sure we don't want to have the situation where our show and the after show are running at the same time. So we're going to have to try and work out some agreement there.
Yeah, it's a respect thing. But anyway, Patrick, what you got for us today?
It's brilliant, and you've done a great job, and I'm delighted you did it. The one thing that, and it's just a personal suggestion, that I would suggest is for you guys to do this type of show, say like on a Monday or Monday and Thursday or Monday and Friday, and then you wouldn't be clashing with Charlie's show.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work for you guys.
Yes, that's right.
My first suggestion.
We're looking into that. So yeah.
My first suggestion would be, I want to ask you guys, because I don't want to go outside of the barriers here. Is it okay to mention other websites on this platform here? Not a personal website.
It really depends on what it is. I mean, we don't want to be putting up stuff that could potentially get people in trouble.
I'm not putting up anything. I'm just going to say it to you guys here because it's a connection with questions that was asked before.
Okay.
And it may be helpful.
Okay.
There was last week, Peter, there was a lady on asking you questions in connection with people that didn't have Zims or didn't that wanted to get involved in humanitarian projects, and she was talking about an RSS account, an RSS program, and you asked her, who does this account, who does this program, and she said, well, I can't really tell you, it's private.
Right.
And I know who does that platform, and I know who the account is, and it's not private. It's Ron Giles, because I'm a member. It's a free site. And it's Ron Giles with Love One Society. And
right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
RSS,
familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the
right.
RSS program that she was referring to is one of his accounts. So you can go on there, and he does training, and it's all free. He's on BitChute. Very spiritual guy. Great stuff. I'm not.
Are you on my
recommending it.
Telegram channel there, Patrick?
Yes.
Okay. On my chat channel?
Yes.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind just posting that in there. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Is it okay to do it after the show?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Sure.
That's fine.
Okay. That was that one. The other thing that I wanted to say to you was you were talking earlier about trying to convince people and trying to tell people what's going on, and they going blank and cognitive dissonance and all of this. And
Big problem, yeah.
Yes, and I've got 7 brothers and sisters. I've got multiple family members. I gave up on trying to convert them last year because they all think I'm nuts. But it happened. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Archbishop Callio Mario Vergano. He's an Italian archbishop.
I've heard of him. He goes against what the Pope has been talking about.
Yes.
Is that this bishop who's been putting out videos from Venice?
Yes. And He's the guy that has been recommending and giving advice to Trump. He was the advocate from the Vatican to Washington for a long time.
I think I've seen him. Yes.
Yes.
But I happened to see one of his videos last night. And at the bottom of the video, it's just a 12-minute video. When I watched the video, beautiful message, spiritual, divine message. And at the bottom of his message was a website. And I've never heard of it before, but it was stopworldcontrol.com. And I went into the website, and it's very, very plain, very, very simple. And it has a whole scenario of the deep state and what's going on and the COVID and the pandemic and different videos about ivermectin and Q, what do you call it? Q, I can't think of it.
Hydroxychloroquine.
And CDX.
Hydroxychloroquine, yeah.
And the different forms. And I was actually talking to my brother-in-law after that, and I said, take a look at this site. And he's back in Ireland. And he said, that's brilliant. He said, I can use that to just refer people to this site and they can see it for themselves and either take it or leave it. Because as I said, I give up on trying to convince people, but that's a very simple way. If somebody says, what's going on, or I don't know what's going on, just say, take a look at that site. And it's www.stopcontrol.com. And when that Archbishop recommended it, I said, okay, I got to check this out. So that's the only reason I'm saying that, but I wanted your guys' permission to mention these sites first. The other thing that I wanted to say to you guys was you mentioned in connection with Iraq and how Iraq had paid their debt to Kuwait, which they have.
Yes.
But on the other part of that, Iraq, if you go to restoredrepublic.com, restoredrepublic.co, Judy Bennington has videos on there, Whiplash is on there, there's a few more. And they update it daily, right? And they give you the updated information from around the world. Now, as of this present time, Iraq has not gone in to the QFS. It has not transferred. It's gone on for the last 2 or 3 months. They were supposed to sit their president some months ago. There's sort of internal discussions going on. They're supposed to seat before the 4th of February. There was a federal court case supposed to happen. That was pushed off to the 4th for some reason. So everybody is saying on Restored Republic, because they don't think the court case is going to happen, they'll have changed over before that. But the thing about it is that they got to sit these 3 presidents and then revalue their currency, the dinar. Now, the dinar is expected to come in between $2.30 and $6, right? So anybody that has dinar, and when they revalue their currency, then you'll be able to transfer your dinar for the new USTM. So they're just three websites and 3 areas where you can get free information and free updates on a daily basis. If any of you are interested in that. But Ron Giles Love Wants a Site is a lot of programs in there. There's a lot of ideas, like even if people don't want to use his programs, it will give people, that's a humanitarian project I could do. This is a humanitarian project I can do. You know, a lot of stuff in there. So I just wanted to say that. The other thing that I had concern about, and Billy, you may know about, or sorry, Peter, you may know about this. Charlie has mentioned it before, and I've got the documentation on the US bankruptcy when that was filed, the UK bankruptcy when that was filed.
Yeah.
You probably know from my accent that I'm Irish, right? I'm living in the
UK.
UK.
I was noticing that, yeah.
Yeah, I've been here for 30 years, but I've searched the internet up and down for about 18 months, and I cannot find anywhere on the internet where the Irish Republic, where the Irish government has filed bankruptcy. And all these governments are supposed to be going away, and even the EU is supposed to bankrupt. Do you know, or either of you know, if the country of Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, is under the UK registration, or is it independent? Because it's supposed to be independent since
question.
1960.
It's a good question. I don't actually know about what's happening in Ireland, but I would have thought Ireland is going to be a corporate entity just like the rest of them, and they're all pretty much bankrupt as far as I know.
Right. because that's a tricky issue because there's still the Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland thing.
Yeah, that's always been an issue, hasn't it? Yeah,
like we went through 30 years of war back there, so we know. The other thing I wanted to say to you is, and I honestly believe that any one of you here can mark my words, I will swear my life on this. President Putin will go down, Vladimir Putin will go down as the guy that saved the world. Because I've watched 3 or 4 long documentaries, and what they were doing in these 30 labs in Ukraine. They had anthrax, they had Ebola, they had I can't think of that other plague. There was like 30 different bioweapons.
Smallpox
that were
and
supposed
the bubonic plague. I mean,
yes,
you know,
yeah, that's the one. They were supposed to be released this fall, and they were actually geoengineering them to take out specific ethnicities, and the Russians, Valerians, Georgians, Mongolians, all the country around Russia, the Khazarian mafia had intended to take them out first. And they're all funded by the US. And in connection with Tennessee Murray, that was going to be my question to you. There are only 30 labs. There's 338 in total. Where are, and I know there's some of them in the US, the other 300, who's working on them and who's taking them out? Because we haven't heard anything about them.
Remember do you remember the big volcano that went off in the Pacific a few weeks ago?
Yeah, well, I saw the volcano, yes.
All right.
And I also saw
have you seen all the floods down in Brazil? Okay.
Yes, and the Fukushima one 2 days ago. Did
And
you
the
see the earthquake in Fukushima?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. They figure that nobody's going to go near a volcano or go near a flood or, you know, things of that nature. So whenever you see these floods, you see the volcanoes, you see the earthquakes, you see the buildings collapse and whatnot, that's exactly what they're doing.
I understand that, Billy, but there's like even in Ireland, Johnson & Johnson has, you know, what they call, well, they're not called biolabs, but they're, you know, there's a whole bunch of American corporations in Ireland, and they have, you know, factories and how to say it, places where people are working and you think they're doing good stuff. But like a lot of these, how to say it, on land facilities where people go to work every day and they're working on these pathogens and they're, you know, you think they're good medicine, fact, like Baxter from America is another one in Ireland. And like none of these have been taken out. And my question is sort of, okay, well, who's working on them or how are they being taken out? Because the only ones we hear about that anything has been done is the 30 in Ukraine. And like
no, I get that. I get that. The thing that you have to remember is you can't just go around and saying, oh, you people over here have been living right next to a biolab. Okay, you're gonna scare the living crap out of everybody. Okay, and people will get up in arms. In some instances, that's what the black hats want everybody to do. They want them to riot. They want them to be out in the street. They want them to go out there and cause chaos and anarchy and everything else, because that's how they get their foothold in. Okay, that's what they really want you to do. All right, but if we suppress everything enough, where we just let it drip, 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 drip slowly, okay, it's like the censorship thing over time. Remember the 50s and whatnot, they had censorship out the yin-yang, okay, on television, all right, where you couldn't show this, you couldn't show that, you couldn't show a man and a woman in the same bed with each other. And then Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball came along, and they were the first couple that showed in bed on television together, okay, all right. Over the course and period of years, we have been desensitized. All right.
I understand that, Billy, but
more and more. It's the same principle. It is the same principle.
I understand that, but my question is, and I think from the European perspective, Billy would probably know more about it than any of us. Has he got any information on any labs being taken down all over Europe, like Putin has taken down the ones in Ukraine? I guess that's my question. Or sorry, Peter. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just distracted because someone wrote to me. Repeat the last question.
I guess my basic question is being that you're in Europe.
Yes.
Do you have any information on any of these biolabs being taken down in Europe, like Putin has taken them down in Ukraine?
Difficult to say. I mean, I live in Cologne, and in Cologne, there are some pretty big pharmaceutical companies. BioLabs, is, for example, is where Leverkusen, which is right next to Cologne. And I've driven there past there. You can't see anything right now, but they're such massive places. You can't see what's happening within them. What I am hearing is that there is a lot of military in Germany moving around right now. And it is very possible that they are clandestinely arresting these people. And you do hear a lot of company bosses resigning all of a sudden for no apparent reason.
Right.
So I think a lot of this is still clandestine, and it's just slowly coming out, and you would miss it if you are not actively involved in learning about these things.
Okay.
Right. And and seeing that you mentioned military, I heard that there was a lot of military activity going on in Austria as well.
Right.
Yes, definitely, and Switzerland.
All right.
I didn't know about. I knew CERN was taken out, but I didn't know there was military going on.
Yeah, but I've been hearing that in Germany, Russian military has been seen, and that they've been flying in Russian military because Germany made the mistake of starting a war with Russia by delivering weapons to Ukraine.
They broke the charter,
and that invalidates the armistice.
Armistice, yeah.
It invalidates the armistice, which means that Russia has every right legally to march into Germany and take over the government and dislodge them. And quite honestly, I think that might happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right, and the other thing that I'm sure you're aware of, which was really interesting, yesterday, President Putin put the sanctions on a whole bunch of members of the U.S. Congress, like Hillary Clinton, Biden, all of them. And that means that he can freeze all of their assets, just like the Americans are freezing the Russians' assets.
That's right, and they should do.
Yeah.
And well, I think they've been very aggressive against the TV channel RT, which I think is actually an excellent news channel, because they're afraid that RT will report what the Russian military is really finding. And they're so afraid of that they've been so viciously censoring RT in the last few weeks.
Yes, and even the site that you recommended on the last call on Telegram, after the Russian TV one was taken down, and I downloaded that link that you gave us. I can't remember what it was, but like there's 500 and something posts on it. But anytime I go to check it, and it's all updates from the Eastern Europe, and it says this site is not available. It's against local laws.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
So it blocks us out.
So even Telegram is censoring Russian sources. Interesting.
All right. Patrick, thank you very much. We got to move on, folks. We have
Do you want me
just
to post
time.
those, Billy, in your site?
Yeah, if you would, please, sir. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, we should be wrapping up about now. We're already over the 2 hours.
Exactly. So we got time for one more. Gayden, you are on deck, sir. Gayden, are you there?
Yeah. I'm here. I'm trying to start my video. Okay. Yeah, I just, something I noticed Friday, I'm with 3 different banks. I'm in North Carolina. And all 3 of my mobile apps wouldn't work. So I thought that was interesting. I have a Fire Stick from Amazon that I stream my TV through.
Right.
So, and you got to have internet. So how can I watch these shows, these loops? Because a lot of people stream now.
Right. They will be broadcast on every major network across the country. Okay. It's not going to be something that is going to be exclusive to this, that, or the other thing. The airwaves will broadcast them. My local, 2, 4, 5, 9, 11, whatever channels you are going to be broadcasting them. They're also going to be broadcasting them so that the internet picks them up through the EBS, through the cell towers and whatnot.
Okay.
They will be readily available to be broadcast, and they'll even be broadcast on the radio, or you'll hear where you can find things on the radio. They'll be doing an EBS and saying tune in here. Every community around the United States I know of has a specific station that is designated for your area for emergency news broadcast. Okay.
Okay. And what I will be doing is I can screen capture TV, and I will be recording what they're broadcasting and putting it out on the Telegram channels or on the forum, so that you guys can definitely see it, even if you have no other way of seeing it.
And signals not going to be affected by the internet going down.
Well, the signal is being used by the military, so the military are going to keep that up. It's already been taken over by the military. It used to belong to a private company. In fact, the CIA helped set up Signal, but it's been taken over from CIA by the White Hats. So Signal is as a good service, and that we are told will stay online. Telegram will be one of the last to go. Maybe they'll keep it up, I don't know, but Signal will certainly be around.
Okay. And one other thing I'd throw out, my sister-in-law works in corporate Wells Fargo, and I asked her point blank, do you know anything about the QFS? She sent me a website confirming it. She said,
really?
Yes, yeah. Would you like the website?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you send us the link?
Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat. That would be great.
Put it in the chat. Put it on my Telegram channel.
Yeah, I put it on your Telegram.
Or put it on the forum. We have a new forum now.
Well, that's the one. That's the one that had Peter, that I showed you, that had the address listed in San Diego, California, not Reno, for the QFS.
Oh, right. Okay, yes, we did discuss that.
Okay.
Well, what this is, I believe, where the Wells Fargo people are sending their employees to log in and train. It shows you a picture of the Q phones. It shows you a lot of
yeah, that's right. I think I saw it. Yeah.
Right, but what if that's a training site? Then all it's talking about is, because I see it listing product line, clients, PayPal, and things of that nature. If it was official for QFS, all right, it wouldn't have anything on there. But if it's for training for the QFS, that may be something different. Okay.
I think that's what it's for.
Okay. All right. That makes a little bit more sense now. But that's not an official QFS website. It could not be. No. Okay.
Yeah, it says for clients.
Yeah, clients and product line. So that may be courses and things of that nature, and clients who have to go into the website to get trained on the QFS. Okay.
Yep.
That may be what it is. Okay.
Okay. Well, I think it's time to wrap up. I was a little bit more quiet than normal, maybe because I didn't get much sleep in the last few days, and I've been working flat out. But it's all been worth it, and I can see that we are doing a great job, and we're just building this channel. This is the first video with all of you guys together, and we're going to be building on this. Now, also the idea is that we're going to try and move the chat from Telegram onto the forum, because the forum is just a much safer place, because on Telegram we're still getting people reporting that they're being contacted by these scammers, and that's a terrible situation. We don't want anybody else to lose a penny, and I've designed the new forum to be safe from that. I've actually switched off the internal PM messaging system. Much as such a service is good, but that is the way scammers normally work. They join a forum, they use the internal messaging system to contact people directly, pretend to be one of us, and scam people out. But if they can't use the system, then they cannot do that.
Right. Okay. All right. But folks, thank you very much. We've run out of time here today. Sorry we couldn't get to all of your questions. We'll try to, speed things up the next time around. But thank you all for joining us here today. And like I said, whenever you praise God, okay, make sure that you praise him and have him bless him with having a great day. Because if God has a great day, we're all going to have an awesome day.
Right. And with that, I've got to now edit 3 videos.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
Insider Club, the After Party, and now this as well. So I'm not going to have much time on Sunday as well, it looks of things.
Right, exactly. All right, but thank you all very much for stopping in and joining Peter and I. I leave you with a little music on our way out. Thank you all for showing up.
Okay.
Thank you. Had fun. Thank you guys. Take care.
Thanks.
Everyone. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Peter.
you.
Thank you,
Bye,
Bill.
everyone.
Thank you. You're
Great day,
welcome.
everybody.
Thank you, guys.
I hope you enjoyed
Thank you,
tonight's
Peter and
show.
Billy.
Thank
Blessed
you.
day,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you from
God
Wales.
bless. Bye, Peter. Bye,
Bye
Billy.
bye. Yeah,
Thank you guys, absolutely amazing.
All right.
absolutely good.
Good to see y'all. Hey, Barbara,
Hi,
there she
Billy.
is. How's Florida?
Good. I got some sun.
You got some sun. I see that.
That's right. Yeah.
Have a healthy glow now.
Yes. All right, stopping the recording. Good night,
Great day,
everybody.
guys.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Night.